I'm sending this to everyone. See if you can log in. See if you can log in. How to use this Google Classroom link. Okay, from now onwards, I'll be uploading all the materials, running notes everywhere. Okay. Okay, I got the Google Classroom link today only, just now only. Okay, give me some time, I will upload that all. No, recordings, as I told you, right, I don't have access to recordings. My videos, I cannot record actually. Okay, this will be under control of management. So you have to check with them. That's what I was telling from beginning. I don't have access to recordings. Okay. All right then. So now we will go to the admin contact number. Also, you can actually see the website, right? Just Naresh at our, I gave you email ID, onlinetraining@nareshit.com. Send that to email ID or phone number. You can see from the Naresh IT website is there, right? From the website, you can contact actually. All right then. Okay, now let us see this. Okay. So asset equals. Okay, I think second test case. Before that, we'll write some more test cases like asset false. Okay, like this. Let me copy paste here. Okay, asset false. And I'll say customers. Let me do like this. So what I'll do? Collection. Yesterday I told you, right? Collection customer. Customers is equal to manager dot get all customers, right? Then I'll say asset false. Asset false. What I'll say customers dot easy. So now will this throw error or what? Asset false means expected result is false. So what is your actual result? This is false. So false is matching with false. Customers is not empty, right? So customers dot is empty is false. So false is matching false. So this will return Sorry. So can you see my screen right? So what I'm doing, asset false of this one. So when I say asset false of customers dot is empty. So when I say asset false of customers dot is empty. So what is this customers dot is empty, true or false? See, I'm adding a customer. I'm getting the customers from the list. Definitely it is not an empty list. So customers dot is empty is false. When I say asset false means expect result is false. So false is matching with false. So definitely this is not, this will not throw an exception, right? Okay. Another exception we'll see, asset true. Will this throw an exception or not? Tell me. Yesterday I told, will this throw an exception or not? What is expected result? Expected result is true. What is your actual result? Customers dot is empty, false, right? This is false. True is matching with false. No, this will throw an error. This will throw error. That means test case fail. So this will be test case pass. Why? Why? Asset false means expected result is false. Expected result is false. Test case pass. Here expected result is true. So actual result here is false. Actual result is false. Here actual result is true. Here actual result is true. Sorry. Actual result is false. Sorry. Customers dot is empty, right? Now I'll give one more scenario. Asset false means expected result is false. Expected result is false. What is your actual result when you're calling the method, this customer's object? So this is false, right? Customers dot is empty also false, because when I say manage dot get all customers, I'm adding this customer in the hash map. I'm getting this. I'm getting some collection which is not empty. There is one record. When I call this method, there will be one record present in the hash map, right? Now, I will show you one more scenario. Can you tell this pass or exception? Can you tell this is pass or exception? Pass or exception? This is pass, right? We'll see. What is asset true? Asset true means expected result is true. True. Okay. Then, so what is the actual result? Customers dot is empty is false, but it is a not operator. Not false is what? True, right? True. True. See, customers dot is empty is a false. Not false is a true. So actual result is true. So thereby test case is pass. Right? Now let me do another thing. Asset false. Can you tell? Is it pass or fail? Is it pass or fail? So the expected result is false. Why? Because asset false, right? What is your actual result? Actual result is customers.isempty is false. Not of false is true. False and true are not matching. Your expected result and actual is not matching. So we'll throw error. Or fail. Test case is fail. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now we'll also see one more scenario. Asset null. Customers. So what do you mean by this? The expected result is null. Okay. What is your actual result? This customer's object is a null or not? Not, it is not null, right? Customers, you are getting some collection object from this. The actual rate is not null. So we'll throw error. We'll throw error. Test case is fail. Okay, now we'll see one more scenario. Asset not null of customers. Okay. So expected result is null. Actual result is, sorry, expected result is not null. Asset not null, right? Your actual result is not null. So test case is pass. Right? All right then. So we have seen enough use cases. Now you got an idea about, right? Asset. This one you got an idea, right? So now we'll see one more scenario. Let us take some scenario like this. Let us take like this. In customer.java, I'll add one scenario like this. When we are trying to add data to customer, where we are adding in set first name, right? We are adding in using set first name. Because if you see in customer manager, here we are setting the first name. So here we'll add one condition. Always first name should be there. First name equal to null. I will throw a new runtime exception. First name cannot be null. cannot be null value. I'm just doing like this. So I'm just setting if first name is null. Okay, we'll just like this, or first name null value exception. That means first name cannot be null because always everyone will have first name. So first name null value exception. Now, what I'll do is I'll write one test case with this scenario. So what I'll do is I'll write one test method. So here what I'll do is public void. Okay. I'll say like this. Should throw, or we can say like this, check exception when first name is null. Okay, I'll just see, we'll write meaningful method so that when we see the method, we can know what test we are doing it. Check exception when first name is null. Okay, like this. So here you see, I'll do like this. Customer manager is equal to new customer manager. Okay. Customer manager is equal to new customer manager. I'm creating an object. Now what I do is customer manager dot add customer. Okay, I give some value here. C100. First name I'll give null. Next, last name I give some Babu. Phone number I give some. I'm passing this. Now where it goes? If I call this method, it will go here. This method will be called. Here, set first name. When it is setting, it will go here. Here I'm checking a condition. First name is null. You are getting an exception here. Okay. Okay. So here actually we have to write. We have to use an method just like asset equals, asset not null, asset null. We have to write asset throws actually. How I'll write, we'll see. So what I'll do is, let us check like this. Assertions dot asset throws. Asset throws. I'll just say runtime exception dot class. And here I'll write a lambda expression. How many of you know lambda expression? This is in Java 8 actually. This is in Java 8. So this logic I'll shift. This is the syntax. Asset throws. Asset throws. Okay. We'll take a lambda expression. Asset throws. Asset throws will take runtime exception. So what will happen is, if this throws an exception, asset throws is pass. Okay. That means if customer manager dot add customer throws exception, test is passed. So that is what asset throws. Asset throws, what it could, asset throws expect. See, asset throws expect In asset throws, the expected result is an exception. The expected result is an exception. Just like how asset equals the asset, the expected result should be equal. Similarly, how asset null, the expected result should be null. Asset false, the expected result is false. Like that, in asset throws, the expected result is an exception. So if your actual result is also an exception, if actual result also throws an exception, then test case is passed. So asset throws means it will expect result exception. Now you see, and what kind of exception? Runtime exception. Okay, this is a syntax. So asset throws is having a syntax that will take a lambda expression. That is a syntax. So here you are calling that method. So this method will throw an exception. So that means the actual result is also an exception. Your asset throws is an expecting an exception. Therefore, this test case is passed. That's what check exception when first name is null. So first name I'm passing it null. Now you see, if I want, I'll run only this part. What I'll do is I'll comment this part now. Okay, or let me run this one. So run as JUnit test. Okay, I think here itself I'm getting this one. So this here itself, see, line number 50, because this will be, it will throw error right here itself. So it is not going further. So this method is failed. Now let me see this method. So this method also is, see, this method is passed. But since in these two methods, one of the test method got failed, so it is showing red color. So this method is passed. Now I'll not pass null. I'll give some name here, Ramesh. Now you see. Now what is your expected result? Exception. But the actual result will not throw exception. You see. Run as JUnit test. Now you see, this method also is throwing an exception because expected java.long.runtime exception. This is the expected class. This is the expected result. But this is not throwing result because I'm passing not a null value. So you will not get an exception. So when I say like this, so let me do like this. In this scenario, in this example, the expected result is runtime exception. Runtime exception. That means this one. Okay. But the actual result is also exception here. When I pass null, is also runtime exception. Because I'm passing null, right? And here I'm having a check here. If first name equal to null, I'm throwing an exception, runtime exception. Now, suppose I have like this now. Now, the expected exception, the expected result is runtime exception because it is asset throws. The actual result is not a runtime exception. Is not a runtime exception. Why? Because I'm passing some value. When I pass only first name is null, only I'll get exception. Otherwise, this condition will be false. You'll not get any exception. So that is what this tells. So here test case is fail. Here test case is pass. Because expected result is matching with the runtime result, with the actual result. Here expected result is not matching with the actual result. So this test case is fail. and this test case is passed. So when I say asset throws means asset throws of this means this is expecting a runtime. The expected result is a runtime exception, but the actual result is not a runtime exception. So test case is failed. But here the expected result is runtime exception. The actual result is also null runtime exception, because when you call add customer with null value, first name as null value, here itself it is throwing an exception. Everyone clear with this example? Everyone clear? Let us take this scenario. Now you see, when I say customer dot add customer, will this give an exception or not? This method, it will give an exception, right? Because if you see the add customer logic, so this is the logic, right? This is the logic, right? This is the logic. So add customer is calling this method. Now you are passing the first name as null. That means this is null value. Now when I say customer dot set first name, in customer dot set first name, what is the logic we have? This one. This one. So if you see here, if first name equal to null, we are throwing an exception. That means this method is throwing an exception because the first name value is null here. So this is your actual output. Your actual output is exception. Which exception? Runtime exception. And what is your expected output? Asset throws. When I say asset throws, the expected output is exception. It is expecting a runtime exception. Asset means expected. So your expected result is runtime exception. So both are matching or not? So both are matching. So thereby this test case is passed. This is passed. Now if I now we'll see. Again, in the second line, asset throws means your expected is exception. Is exception, runtime exception. Now your actual result is you are calling add customer. This time you are passing some value. So if you're passing some value, this condition will be false. So you'll not get exception. So it will go here. So your actual output is not an exception. Your actual output is not an exception. So both are not matching. Both are not matching. Your actual output and so test case is failed. Okay. Any doubts here? Everyone clear? Okay. Now, yesterday we have seen before all test, before all will be executed. First, before every, for all, I mean, only one time it will execute. So first this will get executed. Then I will write one more method here. Yesterday we have seen that explanation before each. So here what I'll do is public void init customer manager. And here I'll say private customer manager. Now I'll say customer manager is equal to new customer manager. Now I don't need this part. Similarly, I don't need this part. Now see what I'm doing here. So before all, before each, then I have a test method. In test method, I'm directly using this customer manager dot add customer. Then I have another test method. So here also I'm using like this. So now you see what I'm doing here. So in the life cycle, first this method gets executed before all, right? Before all. That means this method gets executed first. Next, before executing any of these test methods, before each will get executed, right? That means this will get executed second. In the second, what we are doing, we are creating a customer manager object. Okay, this object we are creating. That means now, after executing these two, which gets executed? This test method. So first this test method, 3. In 3, what we are doing? We are creating a customer. We are the customer manager that is created here. We are using here. We are using here and calling this method. Fine. Next, after this, again before each, before executing any, after this actually there is another test method. So before executing this test method, this should get executed. Before each means before executing any of the test methods. So that means, so the next one, this is 4. Next, 5. In 4, again, what we are doing, again a new object is created. That object we are using here. Okay, that object is used here. Okay, so 1, 2, this is the order. So first this, second, third, again before executing this method, 4th again, next this method 5. Yeah, one before all, one before each, but multiple test methods. So before all will be executed only one time, first time, but before each will be executed before every test method. No, this is only declaration. This is only declaration. It is only just instance variable declaration, but we are not creating any object. So that this is a global variable. This variable can be used across any of these methods. Okay. So with this, now you got an idea, right? How to write the test cases, how actually assertions can be done. Right? Now you got an idea. Okay. So what we learned in J unit, writing the test methods, test cases, okay, with various assertions. With various assertions. We have seen this. Now, we are going to see now the next one, which is interlinked with this one only, which is called mock-it. It is still linked with the J unit, but mock-it is popularly used actually. So it is still linked with the J unit. So we'll be studying about mock-it. Okay. So what is mock-it? Now you see. I'll tell you one simple example. We'll take this example, customer manager. Here, what we are doing in the customer manager, we are doing this, right? And this is your map. Okay, this is your map. So what you are doing, you are adding this data in the map. In the real-time scenario, what we do, ideally will not store in the map, will store in the database. Will store in the database, right? In the real-time scenarios, we'll use the JDBC connection and store that in the database. And now in the test case, what you are doing is in the test class, what we are doing is, if you see any of the test methods, we are calling this. We are calling this so that this is calling this method. And when this method is called, this logic gets executed. And assume that this is a database operation, go into the database. So what we are doing here, actually, what is a test class? What is the purpose of test class? Just to test the functionality. To test the functionality, we are using test class, right? So just to test the functionality, we are using test class. So to test the functionality, what we are doing, whenever we call this method, this is calling this original method, and this original method is calling this logic, and assume that it is a database logic, is inserting the data. And see here what we are passing actually, this is a test data, right? This is a test data. This is a test data. For testing purpose, we are sending it. In the test class, we'll send always the test data. And now whenever this method is called, the test data will be passed to these variables, and the test data gets inserted in the database. In your original database, you can see the test data get inserted. Your test data get inserted. And in the real-time scenarios, this is not recommended actually. Since you are calling this method is calling this logic, and this logic is putting the data in the tester, and whatever you're passing test data, the test data is getting inserted in the database. Right? So this kind of scenario is not recommended in actual environment. This kind of testing is not recommended in actual testing, in unit testing. So this kind of testing is not recommended in unit testing. So for that, what we do is we go for a framework called Mockito. And what Mockito will do is, Mockito will not call the actual method. It will create a fake object and call the method. That is what this does. Mockito will not call the actual method. That means since you are calling the object, creating the object and calling the object method, this is calling this logic, and this logic is taking the test data and inserting that in the database. But this kind of testing is not recommended in unit testing, because we should not disturb. See, this database is actually your database of users, your live database, your real-time database, where you should not pass the test data into this database. Otherwise, the test data get inserted with it will get mixed up with the original data, and you cannot identify which is test data and which is original data. So your test data should not be inserted here. So why it is inserting? Since you are calling the method, the original object and the original method, so this logic gets executed, and thereby it is inserting in the database. Suppose if you create a mock of this, like a simulation, you can think, you might have heard about mocks. Okay, you might have heard about mock fire drills. Mock fire drills. They are not real fire accidents. They are not real fire accidents. Not real fire accidents. So this mock fire drills, what they do, they create a fake fire accident, so that multiple people will gather at one place, so that they can take sessions, so that they can create, so the team can create awareness sessions. Okay, create awareness sessions among the public. right? So that means if you see like that, suppose now you see this customer manager dot add customer. Let us take this. In customer manager dot add customer, and we have passing the test data here, some test data. And if you see, this is calling the real, this is the real object and real method, right? This is the real object and real method. And real method. So when this is called, your actual logic gets executed. Actual method logic gets executed. When actual method logic gets executed, what happens? The test data will get inserted in the database. Okay, this is your actual logic, actual method and object. So actual logic gets executed. Logic, method logic gets executed. So thereby, the test data gets inserted in the database. Inserted in database. So if you use Mockito instead of real object, this is a real object. This is a real object. Real object. So if we use Mockito, it will create fake object, fake customer manager object. Okay. And the fake object will call fake method. So, and this fake method does not have, it will not have the actual logic. This fake method will just execute the test logic, and we define this test logic. So here you don't have any kind of, any kind of database insertions or anything. Just it is a fake. Now you will not have problem of inserting the test data in the database and all that. So that is we can achieve through Mockito. So Mockito is a framework actually. It is a library or framework. Is a library or framework that works with JUnit for creating mock objects and mock behavior. Mock behavior. Mock means not real. When I say mock behavior, what do you mean by this? So it will behave. See, fire drill. Mock fire drill means it will create a fake fire accident. That means the behavior will be like fire accident, but it is not a real fire accident. Okay. Similarly, mock behavior means the behavior will be like this logic execution, but it will not really insert the data in the database. Okay. So that is what mock behavior. So tomorrow we'll see how we can leverage Mockito and create this kind of framework for unit testing. Similarly, you have mock interviews also. Mock interviews also will happen. They are not real interviews, but they simulate the actual environment like that. Mock interviews, yes. So tomorrow we are going to see this Mockito library. All right then. Any doubts, questions? So main advantage of Mockito is these type of scenarios you can avoid inserting. Suppose if your actual logic contains insertion to database or updations to database or something, you can avoid all this because I don't want all my test data to go to this database. If I call real objects, this logic gets executed and your database gets inserted with the test data, which I don't want. Your database test data should not go inside the database. Otherwise, your test data and real data gets mixed up. So I have to create a mock behavior for this, as if it is inserting in the database, but it is not really inserting. So we should use mockito. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, then. All right, then. Always we should declare variables with private, not public. You should follow hash map encapsulation concept. Which functional interface we are throwing? We are using supplier in asset throws. All right, then. Thank you all. I'll share the notes. Okay. All right. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Everyone clear with J unit now, till now? Fine, right? J unit, everyone clear, right? Whatever we have seen. Okay. If you know that assertion concepts in J unit, then you can write any of the unit test cases. All right, then. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.